What is up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is it that you need to do to start a water damage restoration company in 2024. That's right, guys, things have changed, and in this video, we're going to break it all down. What equipment do you need? How much money is it going to take? What certifications do you need? What are the mistakes you need to avoid? We're going to cover all of that in this video. If you own a restoration company or you want to start a water damage restoration company, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go. All right, guys, as we get started, go ahead and do me a favor, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. And do me a favor, share this thing on social media. Tell somebody about it. It means a lot to me, and I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to dive into is the mistakes. What mistakes do you need to avoid when you're starting your restoration company? I put some of these out in 2023 or 2022, and I'm going to drop them again here today because if it was wrong to do last year, it's still wrong to do today. So let's start from the top. Number one, do not go get a website. You don't need a website to start your water damage restoration company. You're going to waste a bunch of money on stuff that you don't need right now, okay? No need to build a website. You've got no traffic going to it. There are easier and faster ways to get leads coming into your business. There's no need to go spend thousands of dollars on a website that nobody's going to go see. Do not get a website. You don't need it. The next thing you don't need is you don't need a bunch of equipment. Like, you really don't. You don't even need a fan. You don't need a dehumidifier. You don't need any of that. You don't know what your first job is going to be. Or if you do, I'll ask you, what is your first job? You don't know, do you? What if it's a mold job? Here's what you need to get started. You're gonna need a thermal camera and a moisture meter, and that's it. Everything else you can rent, you can score it later. I'll walk you through about how to do that later, but here's the thing. You don't need to go spend a bunch of money on equipment. I see so many guys that spend $10,000 or $15,000 getting one van or getting one pickup truck load full of equipment, and they've got no money to buy leads and they're flat broke. Do not go buy a bunch of equipment. Here's the next thing that you don't need. This one's gonna make you feel really good, but you don't need it yet. You don't need a logo. You literally don't need a logo. I'll make it even better. You don't even need the name of your business yet. You really don't. Nobody knows about it. The first water job that you're gonna get, it's gonna be somebody that probably knows you, okay? And they're going to call you because they know you. Or I can show you how to get a water damage lead from the internet and they don't know who they're calling. You literally do not have to name your company yet. As a matter of fact, we've got a 30-day program I'll tell you about at the end of this thing. I'll even show you how to get the logo, and I'll show you how to name your company where you can actually optimize it for your Google search results, okay? You don't need a logo. You don't need to name your business. If you get the logo, it's gonna be an ugly one because you don't know what you're doing, and you don't have enough money to get a good one. And if you name your business, you're not gonna name it the right way, and you won't get good leads as a result. Don't get a website, don't get a logo, don't go buy a bunch of gear. Do not name your company. You literally don't have to do this. And here's another good one, okay? Trigger alert, you do not need liability insurance for your company. What? No, you don't need liability insurance. You don't even have a company yet. You don't have a company yet. Now, listen, if you've got it, that's fine, but here's what I want to tell you. It's going to take thousands and thousands of dollars to get properly insured, okay? You don't even have to go get an LLC if you don't want to. I don't know if you want to. If you've got a bunch of assets, go start your LLC, but you can do it as a sole prop and just get started, okay? You don't have any jobs, dog. You don't have any leads. You've got nothing yet to sue. Do you understand? I want you to prove to me that you can get some leads and you can get some jobs. And once you can get a lead, does that convert to a job? Yes or no? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if it doesn't, then you've got other problems. There's no need to go get insurance just yet, okay? I would say go do a job or two and let's see if you landed something and then go do that, okay? Literally, I wouldn't go get a bunch of insurance. They're gonna ask you a ton of questions, stuff that you don't know the answer to, all right? And you're probably gonna get the wrong insurance anyway. And unless you've got thousands of dollars and it doesn't really matter, then go do it. But you're wasting time and you're wasting money. You don't even have to have insurance just yet. All right, here's a really good one. Maybe the best for last. You don't need software to run your company. What? You don't need software. Don't come to me about Xactimate. Don't come to me about trying to get Dash or some fancy restoration software. You don't need any of that garbage yet. You know what you need? You need some dang water jobs. You need some leads. That's all that you need to be focusing on when you get started. Now, this is just the mistake section, all right? I'm going to walk you through the rest of the video on what you do need to do, but have you seen the pattern? Have you seen the trend? Most of the stuff that you're going to want to do, you don't need to do it. Half of you guys watching this have already done that. If you've already done it, drop a comment. That's completely fine. I did the same mistakes. You understand? I'm here to try and save you from the same misery that I went through, okay? You don't need to go through all this stuff. You don't need software yet. You don't have any jobs. Go do a handful of jobs first. You understand? I mean, there's nothing to document. There's nothing to write down. If you go get software now, you're going to be busy trying to learn how to run the software just in case you ever get a job. And you don't have any jobs, so don't worry about it. Now we've talked about mistakes. Let's talk about what you do need to do as you get started in your restoration business. Now, this one seems kind of elementary, but I have to at least tell you. Number one, You need to know that this is what you want to do, okay? You need to know that. I have a lot of guys that come to me and they want me to help them, or they want to answer some questions about the restoration business, and you can go to workwithshane.com, put in your information, and we can talk more about that, okay? But here's the deal. I can't help you decide if this is what you want to do or not. I can't do that for you. If you do know that you want to do restoration and you want me to help you, I can help you do that. But I can't help you make the decision, okay? We do have a free restoration course, freerestorationcourse.com. If you haven't been through it, go through it, freerestorationcourse.com. That'll maybe help you make a little better decision if this is something you want to do or not. The first thing you want to do is you need to decide, is this something I want to do or not, okay? Water damage restoration is a great industry. You can make a ton of money in it, but it's not easy. It is hard. I'm not here to talk you into it. If anything, I'd talk you out of it, all right? It's hard. Don't do it. You won't make it, or you're going to do it anyway, and you're going to make it, and we can help you do it. Whichever one you want to be true, that one will be true, okay? You need to decide, and if you go at it like, I might give it a little shot, you probably ain't going to succeed. It needs to be something that, damn it, hell or high water, this is what I'm going to go do, okay? Like, I can't talk you out of it. If I can't talk you out of it, now we're talking, you understand? So just make a decision. Are you in it or are you out? And commit and go all in. What's another thing that you need when you get started? Well, the one thing that we don't help you with at our company is we don't help you dry the property. So you need certifications, okay? The certifications you need are WRT, okay? It's your water, and we suggest you get the ASD, the Applied Structural Drying as well. Both of those. Why? Because I'm not going to show you how to dry out a property. You don't see me drying properties on any of these videos, and I'm not going to, okay? I record stuff in my studio, and I'm sharing knowledge and information. The best way to learn how to dry these things is go get your certifications and then learn it on the job. That's the best place to learn, okay? So the certifications, ASD and WRT, you're at least going to need those, okay? In terms of licensing, usually a business license is going to be sufficient. We go over all this as well in our 30-day program. You can go to workwithshane.com, but I'm just sharing this with you right now, okay? There are a few states that make you get a license for mold, but nobody that I know of as of today in 2024 mandates you get a license to do water damage. You just need a business license. In terms of equipment, here's what I would suggest. At the bare minimum, you need two things. You're going to need a moisture meter, and we show you it's the X-Tech 290. It's a little rugged, durable one. It's cheap. $600. We suggest you use that, and a cheap thermal camera, okay? That'll help you sell the job. Those are the two things that you're going to need. Beyond that, you can rent the equipment on your first job or two if you even get that far. The moisture meter and the thermal camera, the moisture meter lets you know that it's wet. The thermal camera help you sell the job. That will be the equipment that I think you will need as you get started. Everything else you can score as you get the jobs or as you get the leads, okay? Now let's talk about operating capital, financial considerations. What's it going to take to start one of these things? Well, it really kind of depends. Do you have your certifications? Yes or no, right? Like, if you don't have any certifications, you can be starting from scratch. You're probably going to need somewhere around $8,000, and that's still going to be renting gear because you got to fly somewhere to go take your test. That's going to be a week, okay, that you're going to do that. At least $8,000 is what I would suggest to get started, and that will assume that you're renting the equipment, right? You're going to have to buy the moisture meter and thermal camera. You probably have $1,000 in that, but anyway, at least $8,000. If you don't have that much, then you're going to have a hard time doing much of anything, okay? So make sure this is what you want to do. Go get your certifications, get your basic minimum equipment, and just know that you're going to need somewhere around $8,000 to kind of get started, all right? Again, if you want us to help you, workwithshane.com. We got a 30-day program. Be glad to give you everything you need in a box to get started. That takes us to the next point, which is this. What is it that you need to keep in mind as you launch your restoration company? Well, the first thing is this. You don't know what you don't know. Like, literally, you have no idea what you're doing. There are blind spots at every turn, okay? So you're just completely ignorant, and that's okay. But you need to be mindful that you don't even know what's next, okay? You're green, and that's okay. So because you're green, you're going to make mistakes. I'm telling you, it's okay to make mistakes. It's going to be messy in the beginning. Now, if you've ever had a business before and you're bolting restoration onto an existing business, or if you're hopping over into restoration from another business like we did, then you'll probably be a little more familiar with the fact that business is messy. But if you've never been in business for yourself and this is your first go at it, you're going to be in culture shock. And that's only because being self-employed is one thing, restoration is another. And if you're new to both of those things, it's going to be messy, it's going to be hard, but it's okay. You need to expect mistakes. Don't expect things to be perfect. Now, and that brings me to this point. When you get started, if you go get your certifications, they teach you water damage restoration in a vacuum, all right? So imagine it's like a college, all right? And you're going to go learn in a controlled environment. Imagine water damage restoration is surgery, okay? And you're going to go take your certifications. They're going to teach you in an operating room, okay? So you you go learn how to do water damage restoration in an operating room. But here's the problem. This isn't a scheduled surgery, okay? And that's what an operating room is. You schedule your certifications, you fly up there, you drive up there, and you get your certifications, okay? But here's the problem. You don't know what your first job is. You don't know who your first customer is going to be. You don't know where the job's going to be. You don't know anything about it, okay? So it's not really like surgery, okay? It's impromptu and they're emergencies. So problem number one, they teach you in a controlled environment and they teach you surgery in an operating room when really it's an emergency service and it's closer to an emergency room, okay? But it gets even worse. It's not even an emergency room because an emergency room, who goes to who? Well, in an emergency room, they come to us, right? The patient, the house comes to us, but that's not what we do. We go to them. You understand? So keep in mind, they're teaching you how to perform surgery in an operating room. It's closer to an emergency room, right? Like in a chaotic environment, but it's far worse than that. You're actually more like a first aid medic in a combat zone in a ditch with live bullets flying over your head. Let me give you an analogy here or a visual for this. When you go do a job, there's a really good chance that you might see some little kids and a dog and maybe even some firearms and guns on the job, okay? Do you ever see dogs and kids in an operating room? Nope. And you won't see them in your training seminar either. But I got news for you. They're gonna be there in that house. What they teach you in the operating room is far different than what you're going to need to do in the ditches in war. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? This is really good stuff, guys, so I hope you're listening. Sorry, I had to look down because sometimes I've done these videos, I'll be 20 minutes into it and I'll be like, I didn't press record, and I'm like, Urgh! So we're recording, that's good. So again, the key takeaway is this: the training is not going to match your first job, and that's okay. Go get the best training you can. You need to go to the operating room to learn all this stuff, okay? But you just need to remember that you're going to be in a chaotic environment out in the field, and what they teach you to do in the operating room is going to be far different when you're doing it in a ditch with live bullets flying over your head. And I hope there's not live bullets flying over your head, by the way. Some jobs there are, okay? Some jobs there are. You don't need to take those. So now let's talk about the biggest problem you're going to have when you start your company, which is this: you don't know what you're doing. You just don't know what you're doing. We talked about you don't know what you don't know. That's fine, but like, even if you were aware of the knowledge, there's still the problem is the application, okay? You don't have the experience. You don't know what you're doing because you don't have any experience. And so this is why I tell everybody, if you haven't done 50 water damage claims as an owner, then the biggest problem is you lack the experience and you need 50 water damage claims as an owner. And I'll tell you guys this, a lot of you guys might be like, well, I've been a project manager, or I was this, or I was that. I've been in the industry for a long, long time. Listen, I got news for you, bro. It is different when it's your ship, okay? I don't care if you're being a captain on somebody else's boat. You can be a general manager all you want, okay? But the minute that is your name on there, dog, it is different. It is different, okay? You are in a cockpit. This is gonna be one of the first time. There's nobody else around you. It is just you, okay? And if you were in a company setting and you had other people, that's great. Those were assets or resources that were touching knobs that you never touched. When this is your baby, you're touching all the knobs, you understand? And you only got to hit one or two of them wrong for it to be a pretty bad outcome, all right? So here's all I'm telling you. It's different when you're the owner. If you haven't done 50 water damage claims as an owner, that's the problem. So we got to get you some experience. Now, here's what I want you to know about experience. I want you guys to prepare and everything else. You can go get your certifications. You can come into our program too, start studying. But I did not say that you lack knowledge, okay? What do you lack? What do you lack? You lack experience. You don't lack knowledge. I mean, you might, but you lack experience. You can have the knowledge, but you still ain't got the experience. And the experience is what you need, okay? So what does this mean? This means you can't study your way out of this problem. You got to go do the thing, baby. So you got to get that experience. There's going to be problems everywhere you go, okay? But that's all right. That's the way it's going to be in the early days. You got to get this experience, all right? And so here's what I tell you. You don't need all that equipment. You don't need all that stuff. You need some jobs. How do you get jobs? You got to get some sales. How do you get sales? You got to get some leads, okay? And so that's why we start with everything that we do, okay? We start with leads. So let's bring this thing back into a landing. Hopefully you know about the mistakes that you don't need to make, right? And hopefully now you've got an idea about what's coming around the corner for you, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of things you got to do there, okay? You can go get that basic equipment if you want, like the moisture meter and all that stuff. But listen, if I were starting all over again today, here's what I would do. I would find someone like me and I would go through our 30-day test drive. We've got a 30-day program that I will put you through, okay? It's $500, got a money-back guarantee. I don't care if you do it or not. $500 ain't gonna change my life, all right? But I will tell you this, you will waste 10 times that amount of money if you don't come through this when you're launching your restoration company, okay? Look, I just want you guys to succeed, and a lot of you guys get enough value from the YouTube channel, and that's completely fine. I've got news for you. I've got guys in $50,000 a year programs And they still watch the YouTube channel, okay? Because I'm going to try and give you everything that I can, okay? But when you get our ecosystem, you'll have questions. We're there to answer those for you, all right? I want you to succeed. I don't care if you pay me or not. If you're watching this now, you ain't paying me nothing, all right? Or maybe you are. But I'm just saying, I want you to win. I want you to win, and that's why I have you here, okay? So if you're getting started again today, come do our 30-day test drive. That would be my recommendation, okay? If this is helpful, let me know. Drop a comment. If you've got a question, you want some other topics covered, drop a comment down below. I'll read every single one of these things, okay? I appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, I've got 3 things for you. Number 1, if you haven't yet, click on my face below and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay, we put out new content each and every week. Also, if you want me to help you grow your company, go to workwithshane.com. Workwithshane.com, put in your information, we can get on a call and see how we can help you grow your company. Lastly, there'll be some other videos right here. If you want to watch more content about growing your restoration company, check out one of these videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.